Anyway, let's turn to the Telegraph now, Nick.
Yeah, 750,000 could soon default on mortgage, so not great news. Now, I was actually trying to get a mortgage myself, so it's not great news for me. My idea is to work 2 jobs, work myself into the ground for the dream of possibly getting a mortgage. But it's a big problem right now because 117,000 borrowers are failing to pay a sum which is equal to 1.5% the balance of their mortgage. This is obviously because borrowing has increased, interest rates, inflation. And the reason it's particularly worrying is, of course, in 2008, the big thing that precipitated the crash was this subprime mortgage problem. That was a different problem because it was people had overlended to people who could never afford it, so they were defaulting. But the problem with defaulting is the same, so it's quite worrying. If you go on in the piece, however, it's slightly less worrying, perhaps because the interest rates for the Bank of England sets as its base, people were worried they go up to 5.5%, but they may only go to 4.5%.
And then come down because inflation is gradually easing.
Yes, so the number of defaults could actually be much lower. So if this happens, it's a massive disaster, but it might not, basically.
And also I've got the feeling the government is going to bail people out, whatever, because we've just grown used to governments bailing people out with lockdowns, with the quantitative easing, with everything. Katharyn, are you actually looking forward to some people being made homeless so you can buy their houses at a fire sale price?
I mean, I've never been so happy to not have a mortgage in my life. I once thought I'd be a homeowner, and now I'm like, ooh, I'm glad I just rent. But I can't pretend to know what's happening with inflation and with everything. I mean, it kind of seems like everything's spinning out of control. It's just what thing's going to go downhill the most first.
Good point about mortgages, though. Who'd have thought failure would pay off so well?
Yes. And if you did pretend to know what was happening with inflation, that would make you an economist.